and we're replacing bushings on this trailer. One of these bushings that nobody checks. Assume they are good. People always assume that they're good. And these bushings are creating a lot of problems with tire wear. And there's another thing that nobody talks on tire wear, which is the wheel bearings. But in this particular case, we're working to get this out. And just a sneak over here how the bushing looks like. Completely gone. We're gonna see them in a minute when we get them out. But these bushings are creating a lot of problems, a lot of tire wear on trailers. And actually, we are seeing that some of these bushings in trailers that are 2024, 2023, very recent models, they are having problems. And these bushings are responsible not only for tire wear in the trailer, but also in trucks. And the other thing that nobody thinks is that when you have these trailers, these axles misalign, you have more fuel consumption because you have a drag. You're creating a drag. This was the bushing on this axle right here. As I said, the problem is that we don't see them inside the beam, inside the hanger. But this is how the bushings look like. So, how much time do you think this bushing has been damaged in this suspension? How much time do you think these axles have been misaligned? How much time do you think that this bushing has been creating additional fuel consumption on this truck because of this trailer? This is something that certainly people do not think about. And it's one of the main problems that I find, that I think there's in the trucking industry right now, the trailers, lack of maintenance on trailers. I insist, and I'm going to be insisting so much, that these bushings are so important. And these bushings are creating not only tire wear, but also fuel consumption. We're going to see how this thing turns. I'm gonna come back in a minute because we are getting this out. It's amazing. It's really amazing how these bushings look like. But anyway, we're gonna come back in a minute. I wanna show you another job that we're doing over here. I want to remind you, we have a great promotion on oil change right now with our house brand Gunner 1540 right here in Houston. All the oil changes, all the prices on the oil change below $300. When was the last time that you paid less than $300? Many years, I guess. So you want to get your oil change with us? All the oil changes are below $300. Last week I was in Mexico and we checked some trucks, brand new trucks, Freightliner trucks, and they have the motor mounts loose when I think this drag link is going loose. We have motor mounts that they were damaged, and it amazed me that brand new trucks with loose motor mounts, misalignments. So if you want to buy a truck, either a used or a brand new one, so 0 miles, I would recommend you to check the alignment, because OEs are not making a good job aligning the trucks nowadays. I don't know why. I like rubbing the tires because you can feel, they tell you information. And this tire is telling me that it's pulling to the right, the truck. Let's see what the other tire tells me. Uneven tire wear over here. Uneven tire wear over here. Maybe caused by several factors. This truck definitely is pulling to the right because the tires, I can feel that the tire wear is showing me that the driver is turning left all the time, steering left all the time, so he can go straight on the road. Plus we have this tire wear over here. This might be caused by wheel bearings, might be caused by Kingpins, shock absorbers. We gotta inspect it. I recommend you to inspect these bushings. Hard to see, hard to check. Nobody replaced them on time, and a lot of times they cause us this kind of tire wear as well. Another tip that I'm gonna give you, in order to grease the Kingpins in a better way, look at this. You have grease on the top, you can grease on the bottom. What we do, raise the axle. If you leave the axle, grease is gonna get easier. It's gonna get easier. Look. So we can lubricate the Kingpins better, drag links. We haven't finished doing this job. We haven't greased the steering column. We're balancing the tires actually because of that bouncing that he has. But it's very important to lift the axle, the steering axle, in order to grease the Kingpins. I always recommend it. Another job. Let's rub some tires. I can feel immediately. It's very rough and soft that way. That means this tire is wearing out the tire like that. That means it's pulling to the right. It's very common that trucks pull to the right because a lot of people do not really make sure they fix the extremely rough and soft. We're doing the steering column on this one, but this truck has a incredible big problem on alignment. Alignment on the rear axles are very important in order to prevent tire wear on the steering. If you have a misaligned drive axle, it's gonna cost you steering tires, because if one axle is pulling you to one side, you have to correct on the front, and it's gonna make you wear the tires on the steering. I recommend you to always feel the tires, rub the tires, and they're gonna give you a lot of information. In this particular case, I can tell you it has a drive axle that is misaligned because it's pulling to one side. 80% of the time when you have a truck pulling to the right is because of misaligned in the rear axles. And then when you fix the rear axles, the other thing that you can fix over there, I think the shock absorber is loose already on the slipper. When you have the axles aligned, then what you have to correct is the caster. And the caster is corrected with this wedge over here. But a lot of people ignore the caster when making alignments. We like to always try to our best to put the best caster possible so you have a better handling on your truck. So you don't have that pulling problem and that tire wear problem. We're always fighting to prevent tire wear. Let me tie my shoes. Greetings from Houston, Texas. The Truck Savers always working to try to prevent tire wear, to prevent extra fuel consumption. If you want to inspect your truck with us, we always inspect it for free. We don't charge to check your suspension, your steering. Even if you do it or not with us, we will always check it. We will give you a quote, and depending what you decide, you can say, yes, I'll do it. No, I won't do it. I'm gonna please ask you a big favor. Don't install these kind of bushings that rotate, especially on the springs, because they lose the alignment incredibly fast. Because of that bushing rotating, there's play, and because of that play, there's no alignment on these axles. I don't recommend those bushings at all. They have to be rigid. What do you think about these bushings? I want to remind you that if you want to get your oil change in an extremely competitive price, this is our house brand. Less than $300. I don't care what kind of engine. All the engines are below $300. We have an incredibly low price with limited existence of Gunner 1540, our host brand. Semi-synthetic blend. You can see. We have been using this oil, this brand, for at least 20 years. We never have problems. So if you don't want to pay high prices from these guys, you can save a lot of money at the Truck Savers. That's why we are the Truck Savers, because we want you to save a lot of money. So less than $300 all the oil change. I don't care what kind of brand, if it's a Detroit, Caterpillar, Packard, whatever. Check our prices in our online store, store.thetrucksavers.com, store.thetrucksavers.com, and you can check our pricing. Incredibly good. You will be amazed. You will be amazed of the prices. So, you will be amazed of the prices. It's an incredible special we have. Oh my gosh. I want to see if we can show you. I want to see if we can show you the bushings on this trailer, but anyway, what I don't want to forget about, we are going to have, we are preparing our space. We are going to be installing our lift very soon. We have it in here. We just have to pour some concrete. We're going to have a very good lift over here. And then what we're going to do, very soon we're going to start checking also smaller vehicles here at the shop. So if you want to fix your trailer, if you want to fix your truck, if you want to fix your pickup, if you want to fix your car, your SUV, we're going to be able to check suspension, steering, and vibration problems, noises. I'm going to check this trailer. Oh, by the way, April is almost gone, and we are gonna have the safety week. I always call it the vaccination week of the DOT in May. So always remember to check your tires. They're gonna be inspecting a lot the tires, tire wear, pressure, air pressure on tires could be a cause for a ticket, for a warning, for a out of service. Inspect your brakes. I've seen a lot of crazy things here at the shop. You gotta inspect your brakes and make sure that you don't have like audible leaks. Make sure that you don't have brake chambers that are not really doing their job with a larger stroke than expected, doing their job with a larger stroke. 3030s brake chambers should have less than 2 inches of stroke. Remember that if they are a long stroke brake chamber, they can be up to 2.5 inches. People has asked me to talk more about these brakes, but for some reason here in the south we don't really have so many trucks with these brakes yet. I think they're coming, so we will be talking about that in the future. Plenty of space over here in the shop. If you need to come with your truck and trailer, no problem, you can come. Look, this guy is servicing his truck and trailer, getting an oil change, so not a problem at all. And remember that all the time that we do a service, oil change, or if you just need a grease job, we're going to inspect more than 100 points in your truck. Suspension, steering, driveline, brakes, wheel seals. We're going to inspect several things. So it's always included. You can always bring your truck to dance. This is the tire dance, the truck dancer. So we're in Houston, 1362 Sheffield Boulevard. Very soon, hopefully very soon in Dallas. We're gonna open a location in Dallas. We're gonna have all the technology. We're gonna have alignment. We're gonna have all our tools to diagnose your suspension, your steering, to look for reasons why your steering axle is wearing out your tires like crazy. Brand new tires. Look. My friends, very important. A lot of people do not take care of that yellow point. The yellow dot should be aligned with the air valve, and the red dot, nobody knows what is this red dot, but people confuses the yellow and the red. Okay, which one should I put it with the valve? Okay, it's this one. The thing with the red one is that you should align it with a mark that OE wheels have. But this truck, of course, is all, or the wheel, I mean the wheel, the rim is not new anymore, so it doesn't have the marks or a sticker or something. So this red dot should be, it's the tallest part or the tallest side of the tire. It should be aligned with the shortest point on the rim. But we don't have that. Since we don't have that, we cannot do that alignment. So the second option is to align valve. The yellow dot means this is the point on the tire, and the valve represents the heaviest point in the rim. So we want to align that, and what is going to help us, it's going to help us with balancing the tire. A lot of these tires, since we don't take in consideration the red dot, a lot of these tires, if I put them to spin, we're gonna see some shaking. Why? Because we are not aligning the red dot. And that is extremely important. We have to kind of align these. Look at this tire. The red dot is exactly on the opposite side. And there are guys that are just guessing what is this red or the yellow dot. And sometimes they align the red dot with the valve. If we don't have a reference where to align the red dot with, okay, then align the yellow dot. But it's very important to do that so you don't need too much weight on balancing. And the other thing is that a lot of people do not really balance. That's another problem. So make sure when you get tires, because I've seen tire changers, tire guys, they don't have a clue and they don't care actually. And then, as you can see, these tires, these Chinese tires, I think we're gonna start seeing less Chinese tires in the States nowadays because of all these tariffs. These are from Thailand, but anyway, Thailand also has tariffs, and especially in the tires. I think there was like an anti-dumping or whatever. Anyway, as you can see on these tires, they don't really have a mark, which means I don't care. Basically, well, they have one here. And as you can see, where is the yellow dot? Right here. And where is the valve? Right there. They didn't care. A lot of tire guys do not care where to put the tires, how to install them. They're ignoring this yellow dot. They don't care. And then you have the other valve right there, one valve over here, and then the other yellow dot. They don't care. And then you have the other valve right there, one valve over here, and then the other misconception on the drive axles is that people do not balance. They have two tires, they balance themselves, one here, one the other. that's completely wrong. Look at these tires. They don't even have a yellow dot on this one. So do you think these guys make perfect tires and Yokohama does not? I mean, they don't care. They didn't put the yellow dot on these ones. So, and the problem is that people is not balancing tires, and look, you can see. I was seeing some uneven wear here in the tire. You can feel it a little bit. The problem is that nobody really balances the tires. So I always ask the guys, okay, you're not balancing because you think that, let's say on this one you have the unbalance on the bottom, you have the unbalance on the top on this one. Okay, that will be the perfect solution. But what if you have the unbalance on the top and the unbalance on the top? So now you have two tires unbalancing themselves. You have to balance the tires. All the tires have to be balanced, including the trailers, not only the trucks. It's very important to balance. So on this truck, we replaced the suspension bushings on the drives. Well, people is complaining so much about tire wear, but a lot of people is not really taking care of tire wear. Nobody's doing tire maintenance. Who checks the tire pressure? Who balances them? Who aligns as often as they should? Very few. And that is costing you a lot of money. Lots of money. So, recommendations: tire pressure, check your tire pressure. Balance and align at least every 6 months. You're gonna save a lot of money, not only in tires, but also in fuel. And tires never lie.